I'm Steph. I'm your host. I have two cats that are tumbling on the floor right now, Aphrodite and Mac. They are Devon Rex cats. They have curly hair, and I'm not allergic to them, but I'm allergic to regular cats. That's why we have those. Otherwise, we'd have shelter cats for sure. I have a husband, and he's currently at work. We live in New Hampshire, and we have two boys who are 7 and almost 5. Almost 5. He is changing by the day. Anyways, so let's jump in because there are literally socks everywhere. So first, no, we don't jump in. We don't jump in. My brain, I have such a hard time remembering. I want to tell you that we're going to talk about some acquisitions, not in this order, of course. Works in progress, new acquisition, an FO, just one half an FO, and the blanket knit along, binding off all the blankets over in the Ravelry Group. My coffee today is, as always, Starbucks Verande, Blonde, whatever that one is that comes in a K-cup. I do that on the weakest setting because I don't really need strong coffee. And with a shot of mint chocolate, Jordan's sugar-free mint chocolate in it, and a healthy dose of unsweetened chocolate almond milk because there are very few, if any, carbs in almond milk. And I don't mind. I switched. So there's that. Let's talk about knitting. Okay, so these are sitting here and they kind of we'll wait. Okay, so first, my sock. So this is my Desert Vista Dye Work sock for the month of March. This is the first one. I just finished the heel. I am totally in love with these socks. Can I tell you that? I love the color, first off. The colorway is night, right? But the pattern I used, here's where I was last time. So I finished that and then I did this whole other sock since we last spoke. I did some serious sock knitting this past weekend. We had lacrosse, and then what else did we do? Saturday afternoon, we watched The Hobbit, like the old cartoon one, and I just knit for like 6 hours on Saturday. I normally don't, so I made a huge dent in this. Plus, this pattern is awesome, okay? I cannot tell you enough how awesome it is. I made a mistake, that's why there's a bump there. So we'll take this one off so you can see it. These are the Partying Up and Getting Down socks by Megan Williams of Stockinette Zombies. And you should totally watch their podcast. I love them. I've been knitting socks since 06, so 12, 13 years of sock knitting, and I don't knit stockinette socks. If you've been watching me for a while, you know my vanilla sock is a rib sock, which in a stripe, it can be kind of jarring to see the, here, let me show you another one, to see the transitions from one color to another, especially like last month I did the laser tag socks, which were black with neon yellow and pink. And I was wearing them the other day and I looked down and at the points where this doesn't show as much on here. Let me make it tighter. Maybe it'll. I just didn't like the blips. The yellow blips against the black where the color change really jumped out at me. And I don't want to knit as many rib socks as I've done in the past. Stockinette obviously goes faster. And while Partying Up and Getting Down isn't completely stockinette, right? Because you get this cool feature, but you really only have to think a little bit. You cast on your toe, you think a little bit in here, and then it's straight knitting. You got your stitch markers in there. You just do change when you hit one. It's so easy. I love it. And these are the perfect fitting socks for me. I don't know how. So I knit these on size 0 with 64 stitches. I like a lot of negative ease because I wear a size 11 and I'm used to my socks fitting really snug, and these are perfect without having ribbing. They are just spot on. So this is probably going to be my new everyday, whatever, vanilla sock pattern that I use. I'm gonna knit another pair for sure. This is my second pair. The first pair I knit was in opal, and I wear them all the time. I love them. They're super tall though, because I was just going and going and going on the first one. So for the heel on this, which I just finished, I'll show you. I took from the beginning of the ball and the end of the ball of what I had left of the skein, and I did little micro 2-stripe sections of the colors just because it's fun. Why not have a little fun on your heel? And when I knit the boys, I did champagne and strawberries for Christmas socks for them with Desert Desert Vista, and I really like the way I made the heels look, doing red and yellow, green and yellow. So I wanted to kind of mimic that on these for me. So one is completely done. This guy is getting his heel in this afternoon, and we are good to go. So excited. Let me just say this. I know I said I was going to talk a lot about socks. I'm going to talk about what I am knitting for socks, but if you would like some sock tutorials, if you are afraid to start, I'm looking at you, go check out Earth Tones. I'll put a link right here. Earth Tones Girl, I think is her name. She's done a great part 1 of Sock Talk with explanations of what a heel flap is and gusset and how to do it and sock construction. I wish that had been around when I started knitting socks. I had my knitting group to help me through the first time, but that first heel was really scary and really daunting, and I think I knit it once and then I knit it a second time with my friend Heather sitting next to me being like, yep, okay, turn. And the concept of turn was really hard for me to wrap my head around. And I think I did a short row heel with wrap and turns on them for my first pair of socks, which arguably is the easiest sock construction, heel construction. But anyways, I digress. If you're new to sock knitting, go check her out. I would have gotten a huge confidence boost by listening to her explain things and just talk it through. And did I say the colorway for these is Night? And that's Desert Vista Dye Works. So, and this is how much I have left. So I seem to be using less for my socks from her, which is great. Or her skeins are really big. I'm not sure which. So, all right, there's that. First one done. The other sock that I quickly flashed at you is a second sock. These are my movie theater socks. I think I've seen 3 movies while working on these. They live out in the car and I really don't bring them in the house. They're just, you know, when I'm going somewhere at the bus stop, I'll put in a few rows on these. So the first one is finished and it's long. That might be a problem, we'll see. But again, the ribbing that I normally like. This is Patton's Croy in the Blue Raspberry. And I did buy 3 skeins because I wanted to have a longer leg than I get from just 1 skein. So I did 3, so I can do 1.5. And what else was I going to tell you about them? Last time you saw them, I was at my mitten marker, just one of my favorite markers. Oh, it's backwards. Just show it to you. That's one from the shop. Yeah, so this morning I knit from probably here to here because it's school vacation week here in New Hampshire, and you know we love our bounce place, right? So a couple weeks ago I went on Instagram and I found every parent of every child in Roland's class because not all of them are friends with his teacher, but I found them all and invited them to go to the bouncing place this morning for like a meetup. I don't know, just everybody come and bounce. And so we ended up with 5 kids out of 17. I invited his teacher. I invited some of his friends that aren't in his class too. But anyways, we had a great group of kids and they were bouncing and I was visiting with another mom, which can make me super twitchy. You know, I usually in social situations, I didn't think of it early enough this morning. We had so much going on. But usually before I do something like that, I'll take a Xanax because I'm not so great. Hashtag, I don't know, whatever, keeping it real, mental illness. It's a thing. We all deal with it. But I didn't this morning. And so on the way there, I'm like rummaging in my purse. I'm looking, do I have nothing? And so the first kids to get there, the first 2 were dads that were like, gave me the nod and then walked on to do their work or computer reading, whatever. And I was like, thank you, antisocial dads. But then one of his friends that I know, his mom, came in and we sat together and talked and we've chatted it up before. So it was fine. It was chill. I made it through. It wasn't scary. I didn't have to meet any new moms. I do these things to myself. I do. But Ro had a great time, which is what's important. And they played dodgeball and basketball and all while on trampolines. And so it's just a super fun place to go when you're an 7-year-old boy. Everyone else is 8. He's a baby. He's not a baby. Don't call him a baby. He'll get very upset with you. He's just young. So there's that. I've lost one. in my talkings. I am gonna need another sock. So it's not that many socks. Another sock after those are complete for Desert Vista Dye Works. So this was one of the ones I unearthed. And I like the colors, right? What's the colorway name? It's called, I don't know, the Nas Strong? Not so strong? I don't know. But it's purple and teal, like a lilac purple, and then a lime green and black. And these would make really good partying up and getting down socks, because that lime green and the teal are gonna pop right out against the black. But I kind of don't want to knit black. Like I knit the laser tag just a month ago. So I know I have 2 main themed Desert Vista Dye Works in my stash. I just have to find them. And the stash did get shifted around this weekend. I needed, because you know, the 2 downstairs closets, the playroom and the den, both are mine for yarns. And I needed to put some sewing stuff in one of them. So 3 bins of yarn went to the basement next to the furnace, so they'll be nice and warm and they're completely sealed. And I'm telling myself they will be okay. We've had no signs of bugs or critters or anything. There's no reason to be worried, but basements scare me, just generally. So, but I need to locate. I didn't send any, what I sent down there was cotton and acrylic and alpaca. That's how my bins are generally sorted. The wool is by weight, but acrylic, cotton, and alpaca have their own bins because those are very specific to when I want to knit something with those. And those are like my least favorite bins, my 3 least favorite. Oh, and the 100% wool went down there for felting too. But anyways, who was that mixed in with? Oh, okay. Anyways, so I need to, my sock weight yarns are still in the den. I just don't know what's in what. I had sorted them by color not that long ago, and it's really annoying to have yarn sorted by color. I prefer to have it sorted by dyer, just because when I think of it, I just spot it easier that way. So this may be my next cast on for the sock club, and it may not. I'd really like, I got my coupon for 1 month. I'd really like to get at least 3 done and then place another order with her, because I know I have at least 3 skeins ahead. So after I knit this, then I'll have 2 ahead. I place my order, it takes a month. I'm still dead. So far so good, but I am really enjoying that. The other thing that I have not shown you, I ordered this so long ago, I completely forgot. I ordered it, but I did order a couple of Mrs. Brown's bags from the Grocery Girls fame, and don't you love that color? I have no idea what the yarn is. I know she says it, but yeah, it's a great bag, great project bag size. So in here, I've stuffed a cookie that has crumbled. A skein of opal. So Mom has a friend that she'd like me to knit a pair of socks for, and I'm happy to oblige. I knit more socks than I know what to do with. And anyway, Kathy's a lovely woman that's been helping us with sewing questions and stuff. So I feel like, yeah, sure, here's a little thank you. So this is the color that my mom picked out. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. And we also don't know Kathy's foot size. She's 5'2". So Mom said knit an 8, and I was like, no way. And I said, well, my bestie Lauren's like 5'2", and she wears a 6. So we compromised that I'm gonna knit Kathy a 7, because we want it to be a surprise. If you're 5'2", and you wear bigger than a size 7, please comment below and let me know. I think she'll be okay. I think that'll work. So that's the other sock future knitting that I have for you. Bringing on more purchases. I don't know why I did this. I think the shop had a good day and I wanted to treat myself, so I super treated myself. I pre-ordered 3 skeins of Nicole C Mendez self-striping soft sock yarn, which is 80% wool, 20% nylon, 437 yards. I'm just curious, 462 yards. That's why I have so much left. Click. Okay. Anyway, so this color is C'est La Vie, which is like Eastery to me. It's pastels, it's pink and seafoam green and a beautiful aqua color and then gray. No purple. The purple might be where it transitions, but there's a self-striper. I also ordered, this was probably the reason I got it, Robin Hood, which, do you remember the old Disney movie? Yeah, it's perfectly that bird that sings. So this one is that beautiful aqua, a soft brown, like clay brown, and then a bright red. And maybe some, yeah, definitely some seafoam green and that. So 2 colors the same on these two. I definitely was feeling the seafoam green and the teal. And then lastly, I ordered Shrieking Shack, so Harry Potter. And this one is a beautiful, that copper color, terracotta color, teal, purple, and a chocolate. It's really pretty. So these are all really pretty. They're not, oh, you know why? Oh, my brain, sometimes, guys. I've been looking at these wondering, like, why aren't they as saturated as, say, another yarn? Like, why does it look like these are toned down and kind of muted? Because as I'm reading the label, it doesn't say superwash, and superwash takes off the scales of the yarn, and so it absorbs color better. I have to rethink this. These. Maybe they'll have to be shawls. Mix them with some MCN solid color, maybe. I don't know, but they're not going on my feet because that's a thing. And no, they're all strong sock. Oh, they all have 459. No, these have 459. This one's a little smaller. I don't know, but they're pretty and they're here and I'll knit with them. So that's new. Okay. One last new thing to show you because I like to give you sneak peeks of what's coming up in the shop. So this is going to be a notions pouch. I don't think it's gonna take a miracle for me to be ready to do a bag update for this Friday. Like, the sewing takes a lot of time. I may not keep on this exploration I'm on because I really like the instant gratification of stitch markers, and while these are fun, it's slow. But maybe we're trying to do too many at once. But this is one of our notions pouches that will be available in the shop. It's Hufflepuff from Harry Potter, because Hufflepuff is super popular in the stitch markers that we sell. And this is not a good example, that's why it's mine, but it will have a little AdoreKnit tag stamp on the inside. And it perfectly holds all these things. Are you wondering what this is? This is my cheat sheet. This is instructions for a slip stitch heel and instructions for a fish lips kiss heel that I keep in my notions pouch and most of my soft knitting bags. So, because I just have a hard time remembering those things. So I put them on, I printed them small, the heels I like, the Wendy Johnson heel, and then I put tape around them. And they ride in notions pouches and sock bags. So there's that. Also, you saw this, but maybe I should just mention it. So this is, oh, it doesn't say our name. This is one of our stitch marker containers that we don't currently sell. It holds a ton of markers and keepers. We don't currently sell these. They are hang on, I dropped a marker. They are our standard gift with purchase for your second order. So if you think that these are something you would like for your notions pouches, let me know. I'm gonna put them out. I'm also thinking, while I'm just blathering about the shop, about offering a advent calendar. What do you think? I've had a couple people suggest to me that they would have liked a 2018 advent calendar for stitch markers and keepers and just a little bit of joy every day. And I love advent calendars. I just went in on Lisa's. And so I think I'm gonna offer one. So look for that in the coming future, maybe as part of the update. I'm thinking in the 2 options in the $50 to $80 range. So you can choose kind of how much of an investment you want to make in it, because I recognize stitch markers and progress keepers, people don't really want to spend a lot on those things. Oh my goodness, my father-in-law is here. We're gonna stop. We've had a change of venue mid-show. While my father-in-law probably knows I podcast, I don't really want to include him in the podcast, so I shut it down. We went out to dinner. I had Prosecco with dinner. It was delicious. Why don't I drink that more often? And now the boys are tubbing. Steve and his dad are downstairs visiting, and I am upstairs talking to you with Miss Aphrodite. And the drink has changed from coffee to water. So let's just wrap this up, okay? Okay. And I hope the light's okay. I have every light in the bedroom on, even though it's dark outside, because I usually like to record in daylight. So I told you last week I was working on the Lovefool, can't remember, the Sarah Peterson knottygnome crafts pattern that I made into a hat, and I did a whopping 10 rows, I think. Not much, but I've got some more into the cable, and I really like how it looks. So this actually sits by my chair upstairs, and when I'm up here and at the end of the day and I just need a little bit, I do this. So actually, honestly, if I end up here and I forgot to bring knitting up with me, then I work on this. So there's that. I had resurrected, unearthed, reborn, renaissance, something, the Vodka Gimlet sweater by Baby Cocktails. Let's see, do I have a picture? I had cast this on in 2013, if you do remember. There's, oh, we'll go like that. And that's what it looks like. My plan is to make it a little bit longer, but I do love this waist detail. I don't know how well you can see that. If I go way in, can you see it? Not very well. And the long cuffs. I'm gonna make mine a little bit longer. I don't want it to end before the button. I mean, before my jeans. I usually like a couple inches past my jeans, so when I sit, it stays down. Can I tell you, my mom gave me a belt? It's amazing. I never had a belt. I've probably spent a third of my life hiking up the back of my pants. And with a belt, I don't have to do that. It's awesome. So let's see, this isn't exciting. You know, it's exciting for me. I want to get this done. I would love to get it done for Stash Dash. I have to knit 6.5, 7 inches from that pattern point. Oh, please don't lose stitches. Yeah, the light's not great. Sorry, guys. From this point down to the hem, and I would say this is such a mess. I am like 4 inches down. So my hair's a little funky too. Busy day. This is Leading Man Fiber Arts Dramaturg in the industrial colorway that I love, love, love so much. So here, let's pretend it's a front sweater. No, if I could wear it like this. I think the Prosecco's taking hold. I'm gonna stop. Okay, so there's that. And let's see, how much have I put on it? That's really all I want to show you. Yes, I've knit about 1 inch. And I will remind you to boldly go where no man has gone before. So, and that lives in my bird leg bags. I don't know if she still makes bags, but this one is big. Don't poke your eye out. And it holds a sweater. It's worth, so like six balls of yarn. It's turned into a sweater so far. So it's nice. It's a good bag. And then lastly, the last thing to talk about is, not the last thing, is in my Gigi Made It bag. It's a good blanket bag. Is my Northeasterly blanket. I am knitting this as part of our Binding Off Blankets knit along. And we've got a pretty good group going with that. It's not too late if you want to join in. The knit along ends, I'm going to say a number that might not be right. If it's not right, then just read what I write on the bottom of the screen and disregard what I say. I'm thinking it's going till June 2nd. Sounds right. And this is my progress so far. So I was trying to do, so that's the one I started this week. I was trying to do a column a day, but not a day, a column a week. And as you can see, I'm in the color, but I haven't gotten to the end of that section. So last week I was at that marker. So I finished out the green and all that. So it's gonna be a 36, 40-inch blanket. Hey, what if I hold it this way? Is that easier? Yay! So I love the colors. I did stripe the gray and the lime color right there in the middle. I don't know how great that looks. Oh, right there. But I'm gonna stripe them all. I'm doing a V triangle of stripes in each column, and I'm using 6 colors per column, and there are 5 colors in the skein of yarn, so that way every color gets used once, and then there's also a stripe. So it's fun. Northeasterly by Melissa Alexander Loomis, I think that's right. Anyways, and the yarn I'm using on size 8 needles, Knitters, Pride, something or other. I like them. I don't mind them for an inexpensive needle. And the yarn is Karen Big Cakes, I want to say, from Michaels. Oh, this is a zipper foot. I need to give that to Mom. In the colorway zucchini bread, zucchini something. That's how it looks all together. And I'm doing color management to get the different sections the way I want. I'm not letting it go for a full repeat, or it would probably end up being like 3/4 of a column in one color. So that's that. This past week, let me tell you, I listened to The Hate You Give, and I've heard it talked about on a lot of other podcasts recommended, and I enjoyed it. It was good. I did not find it overwhelming, but I also studied race and ethnicity in college, so not a lot there surprised me. So, but it was excellently written. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to read the sequel just because, or it's not a sequel, but it's set in the same universe, just because I'm kind of full with that. You know, it feels very similar to the Wire, the season with the kids, and because it is a YA book, and that's not really my jam. So I enjoyed it. I suggest everybody read it. It was definitely worth a read. I would give it some sort of medal or something. I don't know what they do with YA, but the book. Then I went back, and at some point I read, I think it was on Laura's recommendation of the Knit Girls, several like fantasy novels that went in a row. Like, I know one of them. Anyways, I went back through like 5 years back into my Audible library and started researching and like trying to figure out, because I read several. I was on a kick there for a while. Before that, I was on a Philippa Gregory kick, and then I listened to all my Stephen Kings, and so I tend to like find something I like and go with it. I'm gonna try and keep my hands down because they look really big. So I went back and I found that the one that was kind of going around in my head, because I knew there was more to the story than what I had read. Like, I read one book out of a trilogy or something. And so it was Shadow and Bone. I can't tell you because you're holding it. My phone's not next to me. Yeah, I don't know the author's name, but it was the one I was looking for. And it's about the Grisha books. It's really interesting. I remember a little, but not enough that it's not interesting to me 5 years later. So that's what I'm working on right now. And Steve is super excited that the Witcher series, is it Amazon or Netflix? Netflix is doing it with Henry Cavill from, he's Superman, but that's not where I like him from. The Tudors. He was Brendan or something, Henry's friend. Anyways, he was a reformed character, and I enjoyed watching his arc through that series. But he's going to play the Witcher, which we were both super upset about because we didn't think it was a good fit for the character. But they've released some of the artwork with the CGI, whatever that they did to his face, and because they had released images of them filming it, and we were both like, no, that's not right. He doesn't look like Gerald. And so today, the images look great. So that's coming. Game of Thrones. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I'm not going to say anything else. I don't want to ruin it for you. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else. Because I just watched the most recent one yesterday, so you could be further behind. But I do absolutely love that show, and I'm so sad it's going to be gone. But it looks like they've got a good one starting in June to replace it. Like a early 19th century lesbian detective show. So, looks interesting. Anyways, we'll see. Yeah, that's it. So my father-in-law's here. He's going to hang with the boys tomorrow. It's school vacation week. We did bounce this morning. I think I told you that. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, we started lacrosse. Tristan started lacrosse. That was fun to watch. The coaches for his team were very engaged and very knowledgeable about how to talk to 4- and 5-year-olds. So I was highly impressed with them, and it was definitely a good choice to go to them rather than go to soccer, because soccer, they're like young college guys that coach that, and they don't really know how to motivate little people. So I would like the way that the coaches are talking to Tristan. And it's funny, I was chatting with another mom this morning, and her older son got a scholarship to go to a school, a small school for sure, but he plays lacrosse and he has through, and so who knows, maybe Tristan will like it and he'll do well and it'll lead to good things. But there's that. Roland's doing flag football, I think I told you about. Soccer starts this weekend. He's all about the American and regular football. So I think that's it. I think I'm going to leave you there. Join the knit along, knit some blankets, get your scrappies off the needles, and take care until we speak again. All right. Yeah. Okay. Love ya. Bye, y'all.